Rumple my foreskin.
Rumple my foreskin.
Rumple my stiltskin.
Do you think his foreskin is like super
Is
like
rumply?
Yeah.
Does it look like his face?
He needs Botox. He needs dick Botox.
Oh my fucking
Hi
God.
everyone. Welcome to Witchfinger Horror Podcast. My name is Yasmina, and to my right is Morgan.
I am here.
To my left is Megan.
I'm Megan.
And we have just begun Rumpelstiltskin.
Ooh.
We're doing another 90s movie.
I know, it's weird, right? But like, I don't know, the 90s were like a fun time. Like, there's some good gems in the 90s.
Speaking
feel
of
like-
gems, yeah, them jade eggs. You'll see. You guys haven't seen this. Wait, Megan has.
No, I was gonna say
I've
jade
definitely
eggs,
seen it.
like,
I just thought,
like
where are we
goop,
going with
like
this?
fucking
fucking
Gwyneth Paltrow's
Paltrow
jade eggs.
Hey, did anyone watch the documentary that she just
No,
put out?
I
I
did
refuse.
not.
I refuse.
Yeah, no,
What? Like
likewise.
she gave somebody an exorcism? Like what?
Yeah, an exorcism. She's an ordained exorcist.
Oh, what fucking?
Is she
cunt.
actually?
Shut the
No,
fuck
she's
up.
not.
Okay.
No, but she ordained. Gwyneth
I would not be
Paltrow
surprised.
ordains herself whatever the fuck Gwyneth Paltrow wants to
Right?
ordain herself. Yeah.
But like, let's be honest, who would wear like a vibrator around their neck? That's what I want to know. Because
I'll
that's
tell
like
you
one of
who.
the things that they sell is like a fucking necklace with like a little like bullet vibrator.
Okay,
for
but I'll
your
tell you
fucking-
who.
Like, well, you just gotta like get off and like
People
in
who
the
are
restaurant.
Eccentric, rich, old women.
It's
guess
people
so.
who are in the goop cult because it's a fucking cult.
Well, it is, but it's bored rich people. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
anybody that pays like $70 for a fucking candle that smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's fucking vagina.
Pussy, man.
This is a
She's
lie.
gotta. No, it is
It's
not.
real.
It's real. There is a fucking goop candle that's.
It says it's called "Smells Like My Vagina."
Yeah,
legit.
she actually
I
has
actually
a pussy
think I have
candle.
a picture of it. I will fucking
Yeah.
show you.
and it's heartbreaking to me because Chris Martin is one of my all-time crushes.
Who's that?
Her
That's the
ex-husband
singer of,
for the
Coldplay.
Coldplay. Hello.
They have a kid together with a dumb name, don't
His
they?
name's
Oh, Apple.
Oh, her, whatever.
Her name's Apple, yeah. And it's just like I just feel like if Chris Martin, it's like, hey, here's a candle that smells like the mother of your child's fucking pussy.
Right?
Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like,
Gwyneth.
get over yourself, you
Is
fucking
it
bitch.
like, is it real though, or is this she just like trying to like take the piss out of people though?
Maybe
Like,
it smells like birthday cake. And
No,
she's
you
like,
know
"No,
what?
I
She
swear,
smell like
I
her
swear
fucking-
it smells like
I
my
feel
pussy."
like she drank the Kool-Aid though. She's fucked. Like
Oh,
she's
she's fucked.
fucked. She's fucked. Like I'm sorry, one of her products, like we're totally fucking getting into goop right now, and I love it. And one of her products are like these like temporary tattoos that she claims give off vibes or something. And
like, the frequency, they read a frequency. Yeah, she's a liar.
what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, she's crazy. She almost as crazy as Rumpel
Here
pierced
you
my
go.
dick here.
Smells like my vagina candle on her website.
But here again is the question. Does that candle smell like tuna fish, or does it smell like, you know, like a birthday cake? And then she claims that her pussy smells like birthday cake.
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
What
maybe
I
she
picture?
claims her pussy smells like something it doesn't smell
No,
like.
okay, so this
Oh, that's
doesn't
a good
actually smell
question.
like her pussy. It says, with a funny, gorgeous, sexy, and beautifully unexpected scent.
That's way too many
This
adjectives.
candle is made with geranium, citrusy bergamot, and cedar.
Bergamot!
And cedar absolutes juxtaposed with damask rose and ambrette seed to put us in a mind of fantasy, seduction, and
Morgan.
sophisticated
So you're
warmth.
fucking telling me
Morgan.
that like your vagina
was
is supposed to
deep.
smell like
Don't put
tea
that away.
and wood?
Don't put that away.
Okay.
How much is this candle that supposedly smells like her tea steeped pussy? Ow.
There's legit.
Give me a price on this
There's
pussy
no
candle.
price on it.
You want to know why there's no price on
Is
it?
it sold out?
It's probably fucking literally $100.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, well,
There's
I'm trying
a
to-
water
You
don't put a
bottle
price
for
on
$80
expensive
on
shit.
her website.
Yeah.
I did
psycho.
at
Fucking
one
idiot.
point
She's so fucking crazy.
have a screenshot of it because I'm pretty sure it did sell out. So like when you like go to ships to the US, it actually won't like nothing will add. But just as a general like idea, there's a t-shirt that she's selling that it literally is a white shirt with white or with black writing on it that says it's only a vulva,
Okay, fair enough.
and
I love
the
that.
shirt is $80. It's a
$80.
white t-shirt.
Cotton? Are we talking like Gore-Tex?
Ladies and
No,
gentlemen, it
is it
doesn't
chainmail?
matter. It doesn't matter what it's made of.
I feel like
A
for $80,
chainmail shirt that says it's only the Evolve.
Oh my God,
I'd pay
I know,
$80
right?
for that.
This woman is taking the American people for a fucking troll. Like,
and England too.
Yeah, like,
they
she
have a
is-
pop-up shop in England. Yeah, I know.
She's taking advantage of...
Dude, I know. That's why I honestly, and like Netflix agreed to put this show on their channel.
Oh, people will watch the
and
fuck
it's like,
out of it,
but
that's why.
it's money, right?
People
She
will watch the
probably
fuck out of
offered
it.
them millions of dollars, like just so she can have her dumb fucking vagina candle jade eggs bullshit cramming up her goddamn fucking tight pussy shit. Why are famous people like the dumbest people are famous?
Like, listen, I'm gonna
interesting.
get a lot of flack about this, but do you remember when Madonna was like, yeah, like, I wash my feet in pee? She had, like, this thing about bathing in urine.
What?
Madonna's her fountain of youth was apparently urine.
I didn't fucking know about this. When
Okay,
did this happen?
but okay, so I know that is I'm gonna say, it's a German thing, but like,
Man, she stole
not
that from the Germans.
surprising, but I know that in some like European
Right.
cultures, like the first urine of the day is apparently extra sterile, and like people like dab that shit on their fucking face. Like they take.
Tell
the
me
pee
more
and
how
put-
the shit that comes out of my body, because my body deems it unworthy to be inside me
Right,
anymore.
toxins, it's the
yes,
toxins
exactly.
that you're
exactly.
literally
It's
expelling it, and then
Exactly.
you want to put it back on you. Or actually, there was a the show about people that have the weird medical things, like the lady that ate the couch and the people that eat all the cat
My Strange
food.
Addiction?
My Strange Addiction. There
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a woman that was obsessed with drinking her own pee. And she thought it was going to cure cancer, and it was doing all these things, and literally she was just drinking her own
I'm
piss
pretty
all
sure
day, every day.
her own
was
output, like her
obsessed
output.
with drinking her own piss.
That woman put urine in a shot glass,
Yeah.
and she fucking opened her eyelid.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
I'm fucking dead serious. I was addicted to that show. She put
We watched
urine.
that show.
Your Strange Addiction was
Yeah.
my Strange Addiction?
Yeah, she put. Wait for it. She put urine in a shot glass, and she took her first finger and thumb and opened one of her eyeballs, like spread open her eyelids, and she put the shot glass
Her eye took a
over
shot
her
of piss.
eye so she could put urine directly on her eyeball.
I have a comment about this, and it goes like this. Come out of the penis, cum,
Yeah.
has more health benefits than urine.
Yeah.
And cum in the eye feels like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be putting no fucking piss in my eye
Could you
when I
imagine?
know how protein-rich cum feels in the retina.
How much that would burn?
Oh, girl, I thought I had to go to the hospital. I thought I had
Yeah.
to go to the hospital when I got cum in my eye.
But I'm saying, like, the piss would
Oh,
be
right.
worse than that.
Right.
And
This
these
would be
people
worse. But
this
are
is
the
what I
types of
mean. This is
people
what I
who
mean.
buy Goop products.
Yeah.
Don't be one of those people.
Yeah.
And she
Don't be
and
fucking
she's
putting piss in your eye,
married to
guys.
fucking Tony Stark, fucking Iron Man. Fuck you, Gwyneth P.
Like in
Right?
real life?
No,
Gwyneth
no, on
P in
on
the
the
eye.
Iron Man movies.
Oh, the Iron Man.
She was miscast. I think she was miscast for that role because I don't think Gwyneth Paltrow deserves a role ever. Listen,
Yeah.
we're watching Rumpelstiltskin. I'll tell you what's happening. Bitch just lost
Cops
her
are
wife.
getting shot.
Bitch just lost her, not her wife, her husband. And this is the setup for the whole movie. So this is where she wants to see him one last time and summons Rumpelstiltskin. And as far as I can tell, this man just got shot. Oh, there it is. Oh, water came out
there
his
it is.
chest.
Yeah, it really did. There was no blood. They couldn't afford it. There was a limited budget for this movie.
And then they lost it all.
Yeah, actually, I'm shocked.
Oh, here he goes.
He
Whoa!
got shot in the head.
Damn.
He just blew that guy's fucking head off.
That was dark. There's a moment of silence.
Well, listen.
For the bad
Blew
guy,
the back of his
nonetheless.
head off.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Oh my god,
That's a
moment
dirty
of silence
fucking
for this
cop.
motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Alright, so
Okay.
yeah, Rumpelstiltskin, this movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie, alright. I'm glad we're watching it on tape because it is giving it more of an 80s vibe. I don't actually know that I've seen this movie before though, guys. So I'm just gonna tell you right now.
Let me tell you this. This character here, this woman.
Alice Beasley?
Yes, thank you, Alice Beasley, whose name is spelled Unlike any other Alice I've ever seen.
Yes, I agree.
ALYCE.
Which makes me very angry.
It's like 2 L's, right?
Alice.
Her outfit, now this is very apropos because her outfit is so Blossom, it's not even funny. She's got on overalls and a little hat.
Yeah.
She's so Blossom, and it's
so
like,
90s.
this is 1995. Like,
Yeah.
this encompasses, like, Blossom.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh, I had a
all of
Blossom
those.
hat.
She
Let me
might
tell
have
you.
what I
even
mean?
been wearing like a tight striped bodysuit
She was.
under that shit.
Oh, I'm
Like
sure
that
she was.
so 90s. She actually is a pretty interesting person as well, but maybe
Yeah.
we can talk about
We'll get to her later, yeah.
afterwards. I think she actually might be one of the most interesting people. Like, okay, so the fact of the matter
False.
is, no, really, you have more interesting people. Really?
I challenge you.
Yeah, I'm curious.
False.
Please indulge me.
Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica. Valerie Wildman is more interesting, and I'll tell you why, because she was on Baywatch Night.
Oh my god,
That's
there are more than one link to Baywatch Nights. Okay,
Honey,
like,
Baywatch Nights is the new Seinfeld, let me tell you what.
okay, guys, seriously, Baywatch Nights is taking over the Seinfeld references for the Witchfinger Horror Podcast.
Because that shit is
Let me tell you,
bonkers.
okay, well, let's
Let's just start where we need to start. Why don't you start with, like, the box office and shit, Yaz? Why don't you start off with that?
We'll
Yeah.
save Baywatch Nights for
Yeah.
you later.
Let's get the basics out of the way.
Okay, so the
We're just too
basics-
excited about
I
this.
know. Oh, I know.
We've had a few drinks. We have a cheese board in front of us. Haven't we? Actually, we did do this when we did a live
Yeah,
show.
we
did Warlock
ate cheese
2.
in front of an audience while we watched Warlock.
And we gave a piece of cheese away to an
did.
audience member.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. There's another Blossom hat, by the way. I just want to tell a really fast story. I wore my Blossom hat when I met Candace Cameron, and I was stoked.
Who's Candace Cameron?
Fucking DJ Tanner. Oh my god, you're making me feel so old right
DJ Tanner's the oldest one.
Yes.
I like her.
Yeah, okay. Back to Rumpelstiltskin. 1995, directed by Mark Jones, produced by Joe Ruby and Ken Spears, who are the creators of Scooby-Doo.
yeah, like the original OG,
Yeah. OG.
Scooby-Doo,
I gotta
Hanna-Barbera
say,
shit.
It's funny that, like, Scooby-Doo, you would think that, like, being spooky people, you know, that I would love it growing up, but I fucking hate Scooby-Doo. I gotta get it out.
Do you know why Scooby-Doo sucks? And I'll
Many
admit that I feel
reasons.
the same way. But the main reason is the formula is so strict that you already know the end of the show.
I know.
You know that the ghost or this supernatural character
gonna
that
be
you think
revealed
exists
as
is in
somebody
fact an
else.
old man.
And
it's
I
never a
hate-
ghost. It's why
I
don't you
know,
make it be a
I know.
ghost for once?
And I actually cannot stand the main characters. Like Shaggy and the dog are the worst. Like they're
His
just
name's
so
Scooby.
fucking stupid. And I hate ignorance. So I just grew up thinking that they were just the dumbest
Daphne,
characters ever.
Daphne.
Yeah, she was
She's
the
kind
smart
of
one.
like
Is she the
Daria.
smart one? I can't
Yeah,
a little
remember.
bit.
Daphne's the smart one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. See, I
She's
just
the
never
girl with
watched it, so I don't.
glasses.
I'm not that
Yeah.
familiar. But the girl with the glasses, I'm sure that.
But
I
the
would,
slutty one I like too because
Yeah.
she's hot as fuck.
Yeah, but yeah.
Although
like,
in the movie it was Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah,
and
I
Sarah
know,
Michelle
I
Gellar.
know.
Fart noise.
I
fart
love them.
noise.
Okay. I gotta admit.
Oh my god, didn't they fall
I
in
love
love
them.
in that movie? Hello?
No,
It
no,
was- no, it wasn't that
it was
movie.
I Know What You Did Last
Yeah.
Summer.
You guys
And let's
know
put this
too
into
much.
perspective. Let's put this into perspective. This is 1995.
Yes.
I Know What You Did Last Summer was what, 1999?
Oh dear.
Do you know what I
no,
mean?
97, because I saw it in theaters.
Thank you. So it was 97. This is 95. Rumpelstiltskin, which we're watching right now, came out 2 years prior to one of, at the time, the scariest movies I've ever
Oh, I
seen.
love that movie. Love it.
I Know What You Did Last Summer scared the fucking
I saw it
shit out of
opening
me.
night in theaters, and I remember jumping more times than I did in like Scream.
The
in
mannequin
theaters.
scene where the
mannequin scene
no,
was so good.
no.
And like the
That
part
part's
with
scary.
Sarah Michelle Gellar in the alleyway,
Yes.
when she's stuck in the cop car, like I was like, my heart was racing. Like I was like on a date, and I think I was like fucking 13
You're like
years
12.
old.
I'm just kidding.
12 or 13. I know, I'm such a slut.
Go on date. Of course you were on a date.
I was 13, let me alone.
Don't need that.
I forgot what I was going with this.
Dog
but
shit?
Yeah, so the budget for Rumpelstiltskin was $3 million, and they only made just over 300,000.
So Morgan and I were trying to figure this out. Is that 10% or 1%?
That's 10%.
That's 10%.
Yeah.
So
that's really not good.
I'm surprised, to be honest, that they got such a high budget. I wonder if it's because of both the director's experience and the makeup artist experience maybe got them a higher budget. Because the makeup artist, Kevin Yeager, has a great repertoire. He has a great portfolio. So I wonder if the budget, because $3 million for a Rumpelstiltskin movie is, in my opinion, high for the time.
Do you think that they just had like another movie that just beat them out though the same weekend? Because that happens a lot.
Yeah,
it didn't seem like it was released to mainstream theaters though.
Well, it did. I think I
because it said it was only released to X amount of theaters.
Yeah, I think it was 54 theaters.
Which is 54 theaters. That's fucking not a lot at all.
It's not. Which is really, really sad.
It's not.
54 theaters. And then it was released on DVD in 2001. But yeah, like, this movie was actually pretty difficult to research because there actually is not a lot of information about the production. And, like, oftentimes when we see, like, the disparity between budget and box office, we're like, you can read about, like, oh, well, then the production company fucked them over and they wanted them to do this and then that's
kind of like a Dr. Moreau situation.
Yeah, and they held them back or they did something. And it's like, literally, there is nothing to justify what happened.
However,
that I could find anyways.
I want to say that we always do our research, and box office, like, budget and, like, film budget dollars are not always accurate online.
Well, they're not.
That's another thing that it's like, it's hard to gauge because, like, we're just reading this info off of, like, IMDb and Wikipedia.
It is, but having said that, 95, it's not like they have any excuse like, oh, horror was shunned upon. Like, this is 95.
Yeah.
This is when horror was getting its resurgence. You know what I mean? Like, this is when Wes Craven was starting to dump shit out. And this was when,
and, like,
Scream came out.
Leprechaun.
It was very trendy.
In this,
Horror was very trendy still in the mid-90s. So for this to be a flop...
Maybe,
it's like...
I just have terrible taste in movies, because I don't know, I love this movie.
No, I love it, but then so was Pinocchio was a flop. Yeah. Snow White was a flop. Like, there were...
Oh, you mean the Sigourney Weaver?
Yes!
I've never actually
with
seen
Sam
that.
Neill. Yeah, and it's great. Yes, I have.
I've never
seen
it.
I think it's really
it's creepy, yeah.
But then, however, you have to take into factor that, like, okay, first of all, she looks just like Barbara Crampton. But... you have this level of horror, again, at the same time as, what are we saying, 95? Yeah. So at the same time, 6 years ago, there were some really good Nightmare on Elm Streets coming out. Mm-hmm. Like, really good. So it's not like, again, people are like, oh, horror's new. This came out and people knew this was junk. People knew in 95 that this was
well, maybe just
junk.
Because they were... compared to these other movies that were like
that's exactly my point.
Praised.
Of course they were compared to them,
but like it's a gem. It's like if you go back and watch it now, it's still so fucking funny.
Yeah,
like every scene
stuff.
with Rumpelstiltskin is hilarious. Like not even just scenes with him, like the scenes with the other guy, whatever his name is, like Max.
But this is my point. In the mid-90s, you're coming off of The Crow, you're coming off of Lord of Illusions, you're coming off of really disturbing, fucked up horror. Mm-hmm. So when people go to see horror... Tell me she doesn't look just like Barbara Crampton. I'm sorry. But when people go to see horror and they see something silly like this coming off of, like I said, Hellraiser, Lord of Illusions, coming off of these early 90s films...
Yeah.
It might have just been a little bit of a disappointment to the mass media who's expecting something a little bit more.
Maybe, but I feel like to sort of play devil's advocate, it's like, well, why
Speaking of that, Devil's Advocate came out around the fucking same time.
And that movie got really poor ratings. And I love that movie.
Yeah. Oh, man. Why was Leprechaun such a sensation?
Sensation, that's a funny word.
But it was, like, literally they made a Leprechaun movie, like, 2 years ago. Like, there are multiple sequels, and the same director, the same guy, Mark Jones, wrote, like, he directed Rumpelstiltskin, but he wrote and directed.
I'll tell you why. I will literally tell you why without sarcasm.
But it's the same. The ideas are the same. So it's like maybe it is
Warwick Davis. I'm telling you, and I mean it.
Yeah, well, no,
it's Warwick.
That's true.
If Warwick had have maybe played Rumpelstiltskin,
then it probably would have made more money.
He brings so much to a character.
Yeah, that's
He's
true.
Funny and endearing, and
so does Max though. Like Max Grodinchek is a great actor, but
he's
back
not,
then he was like
he's not a little person. Like he's not not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to like justify it in some way because I do feel like the mid 90s were full of great horror movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that has to. Can someone please tell me she doesn't remind them of Barbara Crampton, please?
Yeah, she's like Robert Crampton with brown hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, I never noticed that before. Well, I have a nostalgic love for this movie because me and my friend Dana, we used to rent it in high school a lot, and like the first time we ever watched it, like tears formed in our eyes from laughing so hard at a few scenes, and it just always like resonated with me. I have good emotions like attached to this movie, and I've just always loved it, and I've always wanted to do it for the podcast, so I'm glad that we're finally doing it. But we talked about this movie in the last episode because whatever Double L Alice, she was in Silent Night Deadly Night 4.
Yes.
And then
there's multiple Silent Night Deadly Night 4 references though. There's a few people who were involved. I feel like there was a few people.
Nice. Well, so let's talk about Mark Jones a little bit. As we mentioned earlier, he directed and wrote Leprechaun. I have to say that I've only seen the first Leprechaun like once, and I don't remember it like at all.
Really? I've seen
I know. Megan's like shunning me right now.
Shocked.
I know.
Well,
because I like the sequels.
Everyone.
Because I'm a fan of the sequels, and the first one I feel like was just more serious, and
it was trying to be, but it was as serious as like Rumpelstiltskin is. Like it's like that's why I was trying to like compare the two and be like, well, why did one succeed and the other didn't?
No, that's a fair point.
They are very similar in like mood, idea. Like it's like kind of got a little bit of a silly vibe, and it's with Leprechaun. It's like the first Nightmare on Elm Street where it's like. They've like done one thing, and then the sequels kind of like take it a little further to the point where like all the Leprechaun sequels are like he's like funny and cracking jokes and
the puns. The puns are
like,
never ending.
So he's kind of like Freddy.
Freddy, yeah.
He is a combination, in my opinion, of Wishmaster and Freddy. Because it's very much like, oh, you want that? Well, I will give you that, honey, but to the 10th degree. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
I should rewatch it. I have part 3 and 4 when he goes to space. And, like, I love the third one. The third one is the one where he goes to Vegas. And he keeps that girl in the cave. And the fourth one in space is fucking hilarious. And, like, all the ones that are, like, in the hood and back to the hood, like, those are fucking hilarious movies. Like,
the in the hood ones are my favorite.
They are so entertaining.
Yeah, it's funny because
when he smokes weed.
He smokes weed in space.
But his character smokes weed. However, when you watch the movies, you can see that the smoke is, like, CGI.
Oh, dear.
They didn't even have him smoke, like, a fake joint or blunt. It's just CGI like smoke. It's so funny.
That's
interesting. Well, I will borrow
I like it.
Leprechaun off you Megan, because I legit
funny.
like don't remember the first one.
Jennifer Aniston with her big old nose.
It's her like one of her first like big roles.
Yeah,
and she does look a lot different because it's before she had her nose slimmed out a little bit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Girl.
She still looks good now, though.
She does. She looks fabulous.
Love her. I would do anything for
She's
her.
eternal, just like J-Lo.
J-Lo.
That
oh my god.
bitch.
Fucking yes. Queen.
Stop it. She's too hot.
I love that she was
seriously.
legit 50 and doing that fucking
like pole
Super
dance.
Bowl
Dude,
fucking
she's a queen.
halftime.
Queen.
Too hot.
Yeah.
Ignorant.
For the hot tub.
Yeah.
Ignorant.
Well, Mark Jones, this is actually kind of funny because I've researched this show before because I love trash and I love badness, and like I just recently watched like the 90s Captain America and I loved it, and it's like not a great movie, but I don't know, that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. And I was like, what is this Nightman thing? Did you guys like research this?
No.
Okay, so
Nightman.
Nightman, your face is like pure disgust right
Nightman?
now. Yeah.
With like with an N or a
Okay,
K.
Did he come up with that himself?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay, so
dear.
Mark Jones, Nightman was like originally it's a superhero thing. But it's like it looks bad as in like fucking Colin Farrell Daredevil bad. Like it looks bad.
No, wait, Daredevil was Ben Affleck.
No, I know, but Colin Farrell was Bullseye.
Oh, right.
I never
okay,
seen that, but it's in that like scale of like badness.
Yeah.
So Nightman was originally a TV movie before it became a TV show that actually ran for 2 seasons.
Okay.
And it looks interesting. It's like this guy, the character, he's a superhero, but he hears like people's thoughts, but he can pick up like only evil people's thoughts.
Oh, like Mel Gibson in What Women Want?
Yes, except it's like instead of women, it's bad people. But he wears this like ridiculous fucking like stupid superpower like Superman fucking outfit, and it's terrible. It looks awful. Like I actually really want to watch it. But the guy who plays Nightman. See, this is funny because Nightman, when I think Nightman, I think It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like, do you remember the Nightman episode? Oh my god, Mac
I think
is
I've only seen
Nightman.
a few episodes
Oh,
of that,
shut up. Shut your face.
I know.
You need to watch more of that show.
Hilarious. You idiot.
I know.
I know. You idiot.
Okay, but like Nightman, the guy who plays him, he was in a few things like They Live, Cyborg, and Baywatch. So we should like tell the people to watch Baywatch Nights.
All right, we will. Not right now.
Okay,
we will.
We'll get to it later. We'll get to Baywatch Nights later. So Mark Jones also did this movie called Triloquist.
Yeah, which is about a murderous ventriloquist dummy.
Yep.
It's kind of like the movie with Anthony Hopkins, I guess.
Magic.
Oh, Magic.
Magic from
Yeah.
the 70s. That movie's fucked, though.
I've never seen
And
it.
it's very much like
It's really good, actually.
Slappy, Goosebumps.
Yeah.
That also reminds me of a Buffy episode. They have an episode where there's
Yeah,
a
ventriloquism is
yeah.
like a haunted, like, super popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
thing
puppets
to-
are creepy, like much like
Yes.
clowns, you know. It's
They don't
like
bother
just
me.
a creepy
Just
thing.
kick him.
But any life-size doll, here's my thing. I'm not scared if he approaches me with a knife, because I'll definitely kick him.
Yeah.
But if I know I passed out on this couch, and there's a doll sitting on your TV stand, and I wake up 3 hours later, and the doll is now sitting on your fucking guitar
You'd
amp,
be like, nope.
Like, I know you can't hurt me, but also, no. Like,
Yeah.
no!
Yeah,
Like, just
yeah.
spooky, no!
Yeah.
Well, this movie, Triloquist, do you guys remember, like, okay,
That's
so
a lazy name.
yeah, Dimension Extreme movies? That was, like, Dimension are, like, the horror company that,
make
like, a
great
production
movies.
company that, like, produced, like, Scream.
Yeah.
But there was, like, I don't know if you guys remember, but, like, in the mid-2000s, like, Dimension Extreme was, like, a subsidiary of it, and, like, they
don't remember
released, like, Feast, like, the Feast movies.
Okay, yeah.
And, like,
Feast is
Black
great.
Sheep and Teeth.
Yeah.
So that Triloquist movie is a Dimension Extreme. It was like for like gorier horror movies.
Okay.
And he also did a movie, this is interesting, called Scorned
Yes.
with Billy Zane.
Billy Zane was in it, and what was that fucking bitch's name?
Sadie?
No, she was like one of those girls from like one of those MTV shows.
Oh, I have no idea. But this is kind of funny because, so this movie Scorned is about, like, Billy Zane and his girlfriend, like, they go on a weekend getaway, but she finds out that he slept with her best friend, so she tortures both of them, like, the whole weekend. But it was co-written by Mark Jones and this woman named Sadie Katz, and she is coming to Shockstock this year because she's in a few horror movies, and
Interesting.
that is the girl that, like, accosted you in the bathroom when she was crowned Miss Shockstock that one year at Call the Office. Morgan.
Just stop.
She, like,
Rewind.
Are you serious?
No, I remember this.
Yeah, do you remember, okay, like, the night,
Vaguely.
like, years ago, when, I think it was, like, the first year that we did Shockstock,
is
and, like, there was an
weird.
after party at a bar, and, like, she was hammered, and she was like, I love you, Morgan! And I'm, like, fucking, like, seriously, like, grabbed Morgan in the bathroom and was, like, kissing her cheek and stuff, and I have photographic evidence of this.
Oh my god.
And I was like, wait a minute. I was doing my research and I'm like, co-written by Sadie Katz. Why does that name sound familiar? And I was like, oh yeah, she's a guest at Shockstock this year. And I was like, that's the girl that like fucking molested you in the bathroom.
That's really, like...
Why is she a guest at
weird.
Shock Talk? What is
She's
her...
an actor.
Oh, an actor.
And a writer.
And a writer.
Yeah.
She wrote...
Is her
Scorn.
real name Sadie Katz? Or is that like a...
That's her porn name.
Yeah, that sounds like
That
a very
sounds
much
like it.
Katz.
That's
Is it?
Brilliant.
serious. That's how she spells her last name.
Well, why am I not
So we're-
surprised?
Yeah, so she's that was a funny night.
Oh my god.
So she's
Yeah, I remember. You know what? I vaguely remember that.
She was just like hugging you and like
Yeah,
kissing you. And,
yeah.
like,
I
was
remember
like,
being
"I
hit
love
by the
you."
condom that went through fucking
yeah,
Pepper's
yeah.
nose.
Yeah, that was that
That was
night.
gross. Yeah, that was sick.
But
Error.
also Mark Jones has more writing credits than directing
Yes.
credits.
Yeah,
so...
he's done like some bomb shit, lots of kids stuff.
Yeah, he used to write for cartoons in the
Yeah.
80s, like Scooby-Doo, so that's obviously like the
Yeah,
people who produced
Yogi Bear's Space Race.
Mr. Magoo,
He did Mr. T.
Heathcliff.
Yeah, Heathcliff. I love
No one
Heathcliff.
should terrify your neighborhood. Anyways.
There was actually a lot of people involved in this who, again, like, I feel like it's such a common motherfucking theme where it's like the niche group of people who kind of do films together.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, it was like there are a few actors in this movie who are really involved in kids like cartoons.
a lot of
Yeah,
of cartoons.
It's a lot of these actors are soap opera actors
Yes.
or cartoon voice actors.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
ton of them, which I think is really cool.
It is. It's different. It's interesting, which I think maybe might like kind of in like a weird subconscious kind of background way, like make this movie the way that it is. Like, you know, like same with like Leprechaun. It's like
I was just gonna
he
say
was
that.
doing all these cartoons, you know, through the 80s, and it almost has like a little bit of a cartoonish kind of vibe.
I was
to
just gonna
it.
say it's
Yeah.
very animated.
Well, she just stuck a fucking pole down his mouth in the kitchen
Yeah.
there, so...
I mean, like, it's still horror, but you know what I'm saying. Like,
But
it
it's
does have
comical,
that. Yeah,
is what I'm
yeah.
saying.
There's a little bit of comedy.
So just before we move on, and I can't not slur my words, I just want to get out a very important fact that is there is talks, and I'm saying this in a way where the talks are finished. It has basically been confirmed that there will be a new Rumpelstiltskin movie.
What?
Oh my god.
Starring me ruffling my paper. Peter Dinklage.
What?
Swear to God. And I went on, so when I saw this information, I thought, let me check out my man Pete's view on this. He has signed on. He is into
What?
it. And here's why. And again, we're in this age where, you know, we're remaking it. We're remaking
Everything is remade.
Pet Sematary. Like,
Yeah.
we're remaking everything. And so it's not a remake of this film. However, it is a retelling of the Rumpelstiltskin story.
Right, which is an ancient fucking story.
And here's the
We'll talk about
writer,
that later.
Patrick Ness, who to most people is a nobody. However, if you're a nerd, he is one of the top writers for Doctor Who and has been the top writer for Doctor Who for, you know, since kind of the beginning.
The
Fascinating.
beginning of time.
Right? I mean, Doctor Who has
That's
been...
what it's about, right? He travels.
Exactly! Exactly!
Incredible.
So it's not like Peter Dinklage, first of all, I think is a very savvy man. I think that business-wise, he knows what's good. You know what I mean? Like, he just seems to pick these roles that are great for him. So for him to agree to sign on to this, and then for the writer to be such an acclaimed writer, like he's written so many other TV shows that were huge successes.
yeah.
So you think it'll be awesome?
I think it's gonna be fucking great. And
Well-
here's why: because there's a Hansel and Gretel movie that's coming out now.
I heard it was actually really
Yeah.
good.
You know what I mean? Like these fairy tales, you know, the Witch came out, what, 3 years ago? Like we're getting these folklore because it, you know, life is a circle. So we're coming back around to folklore, which
Yeah.
is great. So I think that we're going to start seeing a lot of these, like Sleeping Beauty is in the works of coming out with like a real dark Sleeping Beauty, which
Yeah.
would be amazing.
Yeah, because that story's fucking dark. Like
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about fairy tales and like Disney like stuff like that, but like
Oh,
no, no,
don't
no,
even
no,
say
no,
Disney.
no,
Don't even
because
say
Dis-
this. Is
Disney
way
took
before
fairy
Disney.
tales, and these were
And then
these
made
were
them-
Yeah.
medieval. That were Rumpelstiltskin goes back 4,000 years.
This is fairy tales were not meant to teach girls what kind of dresses they want to wear.
Yeah,
fairy tales were meant to scare children into not
stupid.
doing shit.
Yeah.
So there's gonna I really feel like there's gonna be a big resurgence of fairy tale films like there were in the 90s. Like I said, Pinocchio came out, Snow White came out. Like there was this huge, fairy tale. I mean, none of them went anywhere. Really?
Well, we're watching one now.
Right?
Like, did any of them really go anywhere?
No, but I feel like now it could go well because I think technology has got to a point where, like, a lot of the effects, like, I know it's going to be heavily CGI.
I disagree with you.
You think so?
Not because I think you're wrong, but because I don't think that it will be successful because of CGI or production value.
No.
I think it will be successful. Here you go, Yasmin.
Every time I fucking clean my couch, I find your hair. Seriously, I use my lint roller, and I'm like, there's red hairs like all over the lint roller.
I think because last year was a record-breaking year for Stephen King. He released 12 adaptations last year. 12. That's record-breaking.
That's crazy.
Now, and I'm not saying... What I'm trying to say is horror is not a niche genre anymore. Horror is the mainstream.
Yeah.
Kids in high school, basic bitches in high school with their bleach blonde hair and their TikTok videos watch horror movies.
Yeah.
This is what kids are watching. So I don't think it's going to be popular because of CGI or because of production value. I think because horror on itself is popular now. That's it. And because of that, we're seeing movies like Midsummer, which got way too much accreditation. It wasn't as good. Do you know what I mean? And Lighthouse. Like, there are movies that are coming out where people are just fawning over, and it's like, is it just because it's a horror movie and that's trendy now? Where people are, like, dying for them? Because I don't think that some of these recent horror movies deserve the accolades that they've gotten.
Well, I mean more with the CGI in that, like, now technology has been able to catch up with imagination.
Fair.
Whereas in the 90s, if you wanted to try to get something across, you had less of an opportunity to, like, create a world and a vast landscape because most things were more practical. So it's like the possibilities with CGI are kind of endless.
As far as landscape, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Landscape because...
It doesn't
I know,
make a movie,
Yasmina, this
I've
isn't
seen
your
bad
thing.
CGI movies too.
But the Avenger movies, the CGI was done right. Because you can't tell watching the Avenger movies that they're not actually in the Netherlands or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is a green screen and you can't tell. So for landscape, you're right. But I feel like for practical effects, let's look at Hellraiser that came out how many years ago? And the practical effects are mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But as far as landscape goes, I totally agree with you.
Yeah. Well, and I just feel like in going back to the Rumpelstiltskin remake, like Peter Dinklage now, he's like sitting on he's like Smog. He's like sitting on a pile of gold being like, what fucking project will come to me that I can choose? Because he literally was the one, he carried that fucking show, man. He was the best actor on that show. So like it has to be a good project for him to be like, yes.
The production has to be good if he's signed on to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds really fucked up to say because I don't, due to the nature of my profession, I don't want to sound like I'm not trying to be inclusive of everyone. However, it seems like every generation, I mean, there was, before Warwick Davis, there was, the Lollipop Guild and the little people who participated in the 30s and 50s in film. And then Warwick Davis came in and he was able to play Star Wars and Willow and all these like Leprechaun. And he was in everything, right? And I feel like Peter Dinklage, I'm not trying to say shove him in a costume and make him a doll. That's not what I mean, but I just mean that like finally we have someone who can play these roles realistically without being a full-size person on their knees in a costume or something. So like I think it's great that there's this like kind of token little person who's like stepping into these roles seriously and not making a joke of himself.
Oh,
like he scares the shit out of me. If I saw that man, like he intimidates the fucking shit out of me.
I feel like we're getting way like deeper than like the drunkenness that I have. Like it's like, but like I don't know. Like
we're like watching Rumpelstiltskin
I
fight a
know, he's like on a
now.
fucking hog right now. He's on a hog. Maggie just punched herself in the face.
clipped
Oh,
myself
man.
with my nail.
Oh man, I don't remember the point that I was gonna make.
Listen.
It was about Peter Dinklage and something, I don't know, but
Well, maybe it'll be terrifying because he brings a serious tone to the roles that he plays. Like, there's another movie that he's in called The Station Agent that I'm a huge fan of, like, before he did Game of Thrones. And it's very dry, and it's a drama, and it's incredible. And, like, that's how he is in real life. Like, he's always serious. So I feel like he will bring a very seriously terrifying persona to the character because, as Megan said earlier, fairy tales were made to like scare the shit out of kids, and Disney just completely fucking like ruined it and made them family oriented like type movies. And I didn't grow up watching Disney. I don't really have like,
you know what? I didn't either. Like, I watched like shit like Fantasia and stuff like that.
Oh, Fantasia is fucking amazing.
Yeah, like my parents were like fucking like,
because they were like, this is meant for drugs,
like, let's
so that's why they made
and
you
watch
it.
Fantasia,
Yeah.
you know, like that shit. Or like some of the earlier Disney stuff, like the 30s stuff, like the skeleton dance shit and like the Mickey's like haunted house shit, like like all the like spooky like skeleton.
But all the stuff in the 80s is just so like tame and has like a fucking happy message like at the end of the movie, and it's like fairy tales are definitely not meant to be cheerful stories.
No, they're not at all. That severed head was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I know, and I love how he just like steals his cigar. Well, let's talk about Max Grodenchik. He's Rom on Deep Space Nine. He plays Quark's brother and Nock's dad, and he actually auditioned for Quark.
Oh, but
Armin Shimmerman got it, and which is fantastic because Armin Shimmerman is amazing. I fucking love him so much. He's the principal in Buffy as well.
Quark is one of like probably the most memorable characters.
Oh
from
yeah,
the whole
I have a
Star
Quark
Trek
bust in my kitchen.
You're like, all right, Quark bust.
But yeah, so he also plays a different Ferengi character on TNG.
Okay.
He plays Sovak.
Okay.
And this is actually kind of funny because, so I'm watching Deep Space Nine right now, and I'm on season 4, and the shirt that he wears as Sovak in TNG was later used as pajamas that Rom purchases in an episode that I literally watched this week.
Really?
On Deep
That's
Space Nine.
creepy. So
it's the episode called Little Green Men, and it's actually a really fun episode because Quark and Rom and Nock go back in time to when Roswell happened on Earth.
My God.
And like so the government
aliens?
are like, they keep them in a room and everything, and like the Roswell like incident was Quark that like came yeah, I know, so like
oh my God.
I know, I seriously love
funny.
Star Trek so much because it can be very serious at times, and there's like crazy battles and shit, but then they have like these like fun episodes like all the time, and it's so genuinely like fond and like quirky, but like not in a cheesy way. Like, it's adorable, but
Quarky?
yeah, there you go. But this is another fun TNG fact. So Max Grodenchik used to be a baseball player, and he actually considered going pro, but he decided to do acting instead. But it's actually kind of funny because there's a Deep Space Nine episode where Rom has to poorly play baseball, so like in the hollow suit. So Max had to play left-handed to fake being bad at baseball.
Oh, because he's actually good.
Because he's actually really good at it.
That's interesting.
That's so precious and sweet.
I know.
He was like, pay me extra and I'll play.
He looks a lot like him in real life. He looks more like Rumpelstiltskin than he does Rom. Because, like, Ferengis have a lot of fucking makeup on them. But Armin Shimmerman, I can recognize him instantly. Like, Armin Shimmerman always looks like Armin Shimmerman as a Ferengi.
For sure.
And he sounds like him, too.
Yeah.
But the thing about Max being Rom as a Ferengi, he adds this, like, he adds so much to the character, like the way that he talks, like you can tell if somebody has like a theater background, and like this guy definitely does. Like you can just fucking tell, like he's very invested in the character that he plays on Deep Space Nine. He's very invested in delivering like emotions that like a regular actor is, like, you can tell they're just like, you know, they're acting, but this guy is like, he becomes a Ferengi.
He
like,
believes
I
in it.
love it. Like, I fucking love him so much. But he was in a few things as well. He was in Night Court.
Yeah.
I kind of want to rewatch Night Court.
The fuck is Night Court?
Bull, man.
Do you remember? You don't remember Night Court?
Is it like not J-Lo? Who's that guy? Jay with all the cars. He had a night show. Jay Hova.
Jay Leno. No.
Because Jay Leno's show was not, in fact, recorded at night. It was recorded during the day.
You know what?
What a liar.
Is that like Night Court? It's recorded during the day?
Most nighttime, like, night shows like that are recorded during the
That's
day.
what I mean, Night Court. Is it recorded during the day even though it's called Night Court?
Probably.
Your beer's gonna jizz, Yasmina!
Okay, so Night
Stop
Court...
making my beer jizz,
Night
Megan.
Court was like a sitcom. It was an 80s sitcom.
Oh, I thought it was
where it was like about like
Judge
court.
Judy.
It was about,
there was a judge.
you know that like a lot
Richard
of times
Mole was in it.
Yeah, like civil like court and stuff like that, like small claims court, like they are open until midnight.
Was it a comedy
Court
show?
It is
Yeah.
a comedy, yeah. Court
Was
cases
it the
are
guy
from
from
11
Night
o'clock
Court?
at
Dude,
night.
like Bull, like fucking like Richard Mole, like from like House.
But was it the guy? Was it the guy from? Nope. I thought it was the guy from the Wayans Brothers.
No.
Clearly was not the guy from the Wayans Brothers.
Who's this
He's
guy
not a black
again?
person to be seen in these pictures. That
guy
John Larroquette.
He's funny. Oh, he's funny. I know who that is.
John Larroquette is hilarious.
I can't believe you don't remember Night Court.
Honey, that show sounds
okay,
ridiculous.
give me the name of the guy who played the judge. I loved him as well.
Yeah, the guy who played the judge was Harry Anderson.
Yes, Harry Anderson.
Yeah.
He was great
And
as
the
well.
Andersons.
Harry and the Andersons.
That's like a man dressed up like Judge Judy.
Yeah, well, Judge Judy is Harry Anderson.
Well, yeah, Judge Judy ain't shit.
Judge
Yeah,
Judy is actually the highest paid person on television.
I know.
Did you know that?
Is that show still on?
Okay, shut up. No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
That's a lot of money.
No, yeah, this bitch is like Oprah rich.
Damn.
Yeah.
Of course, the show's still on. It's daytime TV.
It is.
It's still on? Well, I had no
Yeah.
idea. He was also in Barton Fink, the Coen Brothers movie.
Yep.
The Rocketeer. I remember that movie being like a huge deal, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I vaguely remember it, but I don't
He
know.
builds like a fucking jetpack or some shit.
It's like a comic book movie, I guess.
He's also in Sister Act, and I gotta say, I love the Sister Act movies. Those movies are fucking hilarious. Whoopee. Rising Sun with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
He was in a Tales from the Crypt episode, The Bribe from season 6. He was in Apollo 13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
that's what I was gonna say.
Bitch.
Apollo 13, eh?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah. Go to
Right? Wasn't
space.
Tom Hanks in that movie?
He
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks and Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, Ed Harris, your fucking boyfriend.
I was gonna say, like, that movie was like a stud.
I saw that in
stud,
theaters. That was
Astronaut
studded movie.
studs.
Yeah. So this is, I'm sorry.
We haven't watched a second of this movie. Not a second of it.
Okay, there's like a part where this fucking Max dude is driving a truck. And he yells, no, but his mouth doesn't move. It's absurd.
I also love that Rumpelstiltskin is driving like a 4x4.
Like a semi-truck?
right?
Oh
Yeah.
my fucking
Yeah.
god, this movie's so
Like
silly.
he's a psycho that wants to just fucking attack.
Decimate
babies.
Let me just. I'm gonna interlude our cast.
Are you gonna sing? Are you gonna sing? Rumpelstiltskin.
No. What I'm gonna do is just make a quick comment on how this is like a medieval folklorish creature who's been around, essentially since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Which is what they'd have you believe. And instead of being able to snap his fingers and be where he wants to be, like his magic should allow him, he is driving an 18-wheeler behind this truck and not being able to catch up to them. Like, you have magic. You are a magic being.
Yeah, you are.
Why are you driving
the truck?
A
motorcycle
time.
earlier.
Why the fuck don't you just arrive?
Do you know what I mean?
Where the
Maybe
fuck
that's
you
why
are?
the box office didn't do so
Like,
well.
like you were kept in this gem, this thing that like encompassed your soul for thousands of years.
The jade egg in the vagina, yes.
Yes, and then you were released, and now to catch up to them, you must drive an 18-wheeler.
Right? You gotta
it just seems stupid.
work so hard.
However, this is the time where I just kind of want to briefly go over what the actual fairy tale is. Not the story, because I figure that most people know the story. The origins are Germanic. However, they're also England and Netherlands also have ties to the original Rumpelstiltskin story. So it was published in the Grimm's Fairy Tales in 1812. However, the earliest known mention was 1577.
Wow.
So that's a long, like, this is what I mean. Like, you have lasting. I got your baby right here.
Get the baby right here.
Gold.
I did see that, according to some researchers, though, the story originated
I
that
looked
long
deeper
ago.
into that.
And
4,000 years.
Yeah.
There's no proof. There's a lot of we figure
speculation.
However, I looked into that the 4,000 year concept, and I couldn't find anything other than people saying we believe that.
Right. Well, that's too bad.
The earliest actual documentation that I found was 1577.
That makes sense.
So Rumpelstiltskin in Germany means little rattle stilt, a stilt being a post or a pole to provide support, and Rumpelstilt was a goblin that makes noise by rattling posts.
Oh.
Similarly, Rumpelgeist is a ghost that rattles.
Okay.
So Rumpel means to rattle, Stiltskin means the post that he shakes. Once Rumpelstiltskin was bested at the end of the story, he stamps his right foot into the ground in anger and gets it stuck in the ground. Like, he breaks the motherfucking earth, pows his foot into the ground, and then he's stuck. So in order to rip his body out, he grabs his left leg to get some leverage to rip his body out, but his right leg is stuck, and so in the end of the story, he rips himself in half.
Are you fucking
He
serious?
grabs his left leg, his right leg is stuck in the earth, he grabs his left leg, kloosh, starting from the dick, rips himself in half.
That's bonkers.
That's fucking amazing. I wish the end of this movie ended like
There's
that.
other endings where he just stamps his right foot in the ground and is stuck and perishes
And
over
then
time.
dies,
But I really prefer the one where he fucking, like...
rips himself in
I kind
half.
of like
rips
both,
himself
though,
in half.
because imagine being stuck there for the rest of eternity. Like, that's gotta suck.
Well, that's gotta suck, but it's pretty anticlimactic. I'd rather see your fucking
But,
ball
like, to
sack
sit
wrap-
there in your misery
right?
for the rest of your life, like,
That's
that's
true.
dark.
That's true. No, I get you.
It's very dark.
So there's, like, it's a story, and again, the moral of the story is supposed to be don't be boastful, because Rumpelstiltskin was bested because he's by himself like a psycho dancing in the woods going, they'll never guess my name, it's Rumpelstiltskin, they'll never guess my name. Well, bitch,
Right?
you've said it 7 times in a row now,
Yeah.
someone's gonna hear, so the moral of the story is not to jump the gun.
Right. Makes sense.
I'm sorry.
This guy. This guy's name is Tommy Blaze.
I couldn't find any information about it.
Tommy Blaze, who's a writer as well as an actor. The whole movie is him just going, yeah! It's like,
Holy shit.
I honestly have like he's been in a bunch of random shit that I've never heard of, and in an episode of Friends.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad. I actually don't even have that guy's name on my...
Tommy Blaze.
Yeah, no. Like, that sounds like a name that he made up himself. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Tommy Blaze.
Tommy Blaze. I have his name written down, and then nothing. I have nothing
I
after
literally
it.
have in my notes was in an episode of Friends and a bunch of random stuff I've never heard of.
Yeah. By the way, that shirt is incredible.
You know who he reminds
That is
me of?
such a
Howie
90s
Mandel.
shirt.
That guy's afraid of germs.
Yeah, he is.
He is.
So am I. I mean, how are your best friends?
Yeah. So I don't even know, now that the movie's over, and I look over my notes and realized I haven't
It's not over.
talked about anything, I realized that there are a lot of characters who don't. Valerie Wildman. She was in Days of Our Lives.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
there's a
I
lot
know.
of-
Like, seriously, we were like, this is going to be an interesting episode because there's like literally like no information on
and-
this movie.
I mean, so Kim, the woman who I keep referring to as, she looks a lot like Barbara Crampton,
Yeah.
Kim Ulrich, she was Ivy Winthrop in Passions. Now, Passions was my jam. I was born in
Sounds
86.
familiar.
So the soap opera I grew up on was Days of Our Lives and Passions.
Right.
And so she was one of the main characters in Passions, which I love.
she was in a lot of fucking like TV shows.
But
Yeah,
she
she
was also in
did
As the
stuff.
World Turns,
Yeah.
which is, you know, so she made crazy soap opera money.
Yeah.
Nice, good for her.
I mean, soap opera money is like not a joke.
Look at this. Look, he just took his head off.
Oh my god.
I love this. So, and then
Oh
he's
my-
fucking biting the sheriff's neck. I love it. There, now he's using his magic.
His head just got fucking knocked off.
But yeah,
That was incredible.
Kim Johnston Ulrich, who plays Shelley.
She
was
Skeet
also
Ulrich's lover.
No,
Lava.
no, she's married to some guy with some last name.
Remember Skeet Ulrich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him in real
Remember
life.
when his
Skeet.
remember when his name was
Skeet. A lot of people don't know what it means.
Remember when his name was what?
Skeet?
Yeah, Skeet Ulrich. Is that not his name now?
No, it's his...
Oh, that's his name. Oh, that's funny.
You don't think that's fucking funny? Like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get into acting. My professional name is Skeet, everyone.
Yeah. I'm gonna jizz all over the world.
Skeet, 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 motherfucker.
She was also in the A-Team, Cheers, Wings, Monsters, Major Dad. We were talking about Major Dad the other
Yeah,
day.
you know what's interesting though is because Mark Jones wrote for the A-Team and shit.
Yeah,
too,
there's
so,
a lot of
there-
connections.
Yeah,
All
like
these
Megan
people,
was saying
know each
earlier, there
other.
are a lot of those connections where it's like, you know, this guy worked for like
Yeah.
Let me ask you
they've
guys this.
hired a lot of the same people.
The fuck is Spellcaster?
Okay, I was gonna get there. But I just wanted to mention that she was also in Renegade.
Was she? I didn't even see that.
Yep, she was in Renegade.
Fucking
Lorenzo Lamas.
On his
What did I call him
motorcycle?
the other day? He was like the Antonio Banderas' poor man.
Poor man's
Poor man.
dollar store Antonio
Dollar
Banderas.
store Antonio Banderas.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but you know what? He's way better looking.
Oh
than
yeah,
Antonio.
and she was in the Highlander TV show. Can I just say that Queen song is incredible?
Oh, here we go.
Oh god, that song is so
Don't get her started on the Queen
fucking
song.
good. She was also in Supernatural. She was like a recurring character in season 6. But yeah, so Spellcaster, girl, pay attention.
Listening.
Spellcaster is an awesome 80s movie that I'm drunk right now. Why can't I think of his name? Carl Buchler. I can't think of how he pronounces his last name, but
Buckler. Yeah.
He did the special
Buchler?
effects. It's all like
Buchler.
it's amazing. It's got Adam Ant in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
I've
all
seen
these
Spellcaster
yeah. So
before.
there's all these like teenagers that go to this like mansion for this like
Yeah.
contest to be like in Adam Ant's like music video or some shit. But they go to this like mansion and it's haunted. And all these like beasts and creatures and like furniture comes to life and like fucking strangles you, and it's amazing. Spellcaster is like one of my favorite 80s movies, like for sure. We'll watch it. It's amazing. But Alice Beasley,
Yeah.
she's very interesting.
She is.
She's one of the most interesting people in the whole cast.
Yeah.
She's very diverse.
Yeah. So she used to be married to Vincent Schiavelli, and that guy, if you
He's
look
got a
him
face
up,
you would fucking remember.
Yeah, so he passed away like in the mid 2000s, but he was the tall guy in like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Batman Returns, Lord
Yeah.
of Illusions, Buffy.
He's the creepy subway ghost in Ghost.
yes,
If you,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was a scary fucking
Yeah,
scene.
that guy. Yeah, he just has like a face that you just like cannot forget. Like
he was
the tall
in
guy in
Playroom
Twin Peaks.
also.
Oh really? Oh my
I put
god,
that on
Playroom
here because
with
that
Shooter
fucking-
McGavin. But he was also in Baywatch Nights. So Baywatch Nights.
This is like 6 degrees of Baywatch
I know,
Nights.
I know. Okay, so Baywatch Nights, the episode that he was in was an episode revolving around D&D.
Really?
So David Hasselhoff saves a girl who was trapped in a D&D game.
Amazing.
What?
Yeah, okay, guys. We have to talk about Baywatch Nights.
All right, it's time. It's time.
Okay, seriously? This is like my new fucking favorite TV show. Baywatch Nights. So I actually am a fan of regular Baywatch. It's watchable.
Yeah. I
loved
thought
watching
Baywatch Nights was watchable. I did.
It is. Okay, we'll get there. I loved watching Baywatch as a kid.
Bezos.
My speech is...
Alles was Bezos.
It's like my speech is starting to not formulate words. Yeah, so ever since I heard of Baywatch Nights, I was like, okay, so it's like Baywatch, but like what's David Hasselhoff's name? Mitch. Mitch is like a lifeguard by day, but in the evening
He solves paranormal fucking crimes.
He solves crimes.
But they're paranormal crimes because, like, they're vampires.
No, wait.
Season 2 is Paranormal Crimes.
Okay.
Okay, so Baywatch Nights season 1 is all him just solving crimes. Okay, theft, burglaries, murders. It's a lot like Clue.
I'm gonna wait till you finish, but before you finish, I'm gonna say season 1 is better than season 2, and now I will let you finish, and then I will say why after.
But we gotta watch all the episodes before.
Here's
you
why,
formulate
and here's
an
why,
opinion.
and I'll tell you why. Because season 2 was too ambitious. They went in thinking they were gonna be a supernatural before supernatural.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. In every single episode of Baywatch Nights season 2, when it's the supernatural episodes, you never see a creature.
The creature. I know.
You never see a demon. You never see a ghost because they're too cheap to film it. So you get some human in a glove.
Yeah,
like a
hand,
hand,
like a
creepy
glove.
You know,
Yeah,
creeping
or
around the
something.
corner, but you will never
haven't
have the
watched all of them yet,
satisfaction.
though. I'm
Yasmina,
gonna-
since the show was canceled, I bet you they never show a
I
creature.
have hope. I still have hope. I
Girl,
hope.
I love your optimism.
I
do.
am. I'm optimistic. So you can't buy this shit anywhere. P.S. If you're interested in watching Baywatch Nights, Morgan's got a way. She got me.
Yeah, you guys should all
But
inbox
don't hit me
her.
up because
no, you
fuck
should.
you.
Inbox Morgan.
Okay, so Morgan found like a dude selling burned DVDs of Baywatch Nights, like
I
on the
literally-
Is that her phone
internet.
number? I'll give you her phone
Guys,
number.
I went
Just
to the
message
dark
me. Hit me
web
up.
Yeah.
to find
So
Baywatch
in order to watch
Nights.
Baywatch Nights, you have to go to the dark web and contact a fucking like creepy basement troll
Right.
that's got Baywatch Nights burned on fucking DVDs. And so that's what Morgan did. She went into the dark web and got me these
I found
DVDs
this
for my
shit.
birthday. And so we watched some. So basically the first season, as I said earlier, is just basically like, you know, Mitch solving murders and crimes and
Megan.
blah, blah, blah. But then the first season didn't do very well. So then the
Then they were
producers
they
were like, well, we have to
X-Files
add...
is popular.
X-Files is really popular right now, so we have to add a paranormal aspect to the show to gain more of an audience. And so that's what they did. So season 2 of Baywatch Nights is basically fucking Mitch, like, investigating paranormal activities and crimes. And
okay.
so there's like there's a vampire episode.
I saw that one. That
There's
one
a
was
werewolf one.
ratchet.
There's a D&D episode that this
Yeah.
bitch is in.
But that's not even paranormal. It's just like, oh, a
Well, but
spooky
it is
board
because
game.
like she gets trapped in the game, so she's like in this other like realm
I
of this like other
see.
universe where like I'm assuming a dungeon master has her trapped. But as Megan said earlier, the budget is very, very low, so they didn't have a lot of money for like practical effects. So like, yeah, there was a Creature of the Lagoon episode that we watched where they go into a boat in the ocean, and then like all you see is like the creature's hand, like, and like like,
That's it.
you know, like a creature sound, you know what I mean? And like they don't see like the full body. However, I'm gonna stick with it though, because there's like 24 episodes in both season 1 and 2. So I'm gonna watch the whole thing.
Oh my God,
and
that's
I'm gonna
a lot of
formulate an unbiased opinion, because I can't have an opinion until I've seen every episode.
Thing is, having seen some episodes and having said that, like, yeah, it's clearly a gloved hand around the corner, or it's clearly a dollar store costume type situation, I gotta tell you, Yasmina, I've never been, when we were watching it, I was watching it. Like, I knew, and I fully
and we
knew
were into it.
that I wouldn't see the creature. Like, by the first episode, you can kind of see
You get the idea.
You get the idea.
Yeah.
You get that it's all going to be very shadowed. You know, the filming is very cheap. However, I thought it was great. I love seeing David Hasselhoff get laid every episode.
I know,
thought
every
that was
episode he
wonderful.
bangs like a new
He's like
chick.
a weird Captain Kirk. It's like that sort of idea
Exactly,
where it's like,
that
oh, I'm such a
macho.
macho.
But
Everybody
he's
wants to fuck me.
unsexy though. Like David Hasselhoff was never sexy. I'm sorry. He just looks like somebody's dad.
I wouldn't
and
say
like
never.
not a
I wouldn't
sexy
say never.
dad.
I wouldn't say
Morgan.
never.
What?
Like them dads.
I wouldn't say never
Sam
sexy,
Elliott.
though.
Yeah, no,
Uh-oh.
it wasn't like, he doesn't look like Sam Elliott dad. Like he looks like like your friend's dad.
But I thought it was great, because here's the other thing, which I'm sure it didn't take all of you out in listener land to figure out, all of you out long to figure out, that you have to sleep sometime. If you're solving crimes at night and you're saving lives in the
Megan.
morning,
Megan.
Yes! Right? when does David Hasselhoff sleep?
I've been waiting to ask this question for like a little bit now. So it plays on that same idea. Like, when do you sleep? First of all, but okay, so his like main job is the fucking
the minimum
lifeguard,
wage job,
the
yes,
lifeguard,
yes, the
and
minimum
then
wage
his
job.
like second side job is like a detective.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you're a detective, you're gonna be making more money, and like,
He's a private investigator.
he's a PI.
He's a PI. So there's a difference, because that depends on how much your fucking client pays you and
Also-
what your rate is.
but he's
No, I hear what you're saying.
He's a fucking lifeguard. Like, that's his main job.
Here's the thing, though.
It's
Nowadays,
just so bizarre to me.
lifeguards make less than minimum wage. In his day, he was working with the likes of Pamela and
Yeah, Pamela Henderson.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that bitch, in her time, had some semi-decent things going on for her. Her face was never great. Her tits were never great. And her ass was never great. But she had some okay things going on for her sometimes.
She, before
best thing
Baywatch,
She had the flattest ass I've ever seen in my life.
when she was very, very young, she was like the girl, the poster girl for like, I want to say Blue, like
was a
Labatt's
beer.
Blue.
She was a beer
She was
commercial,
the Blue
yeah.
girl,
And she was a sunshine girl as well.
Honey, it don't take shit to be a
I
sunshine
know, I wish I could go
girl.
back in time. I'd be like, do you want to see some butt?
You know what I mean? Like, sunshine girls don't mean shit.
I know, but that's
However,
our claim to fame.
it's like, here's the thing, like, Pamela Anderson, and I know there are people out there who are probably like, Pamela Anderson was my life in the 90s, and I get it, but you know who I thought, you know, was my life in the 90s? Do you know what I mean? Like, things, like, when you put it into
LFO?
perspective, like, bitch, they're talented.
I know, we were talking about them earlier.
They're
That's why I
talented.
said it.
But it's like, when you actually think about it, Pamela Anderson, even in the best of days, was not that attractive.
It just.
I'm
was
sorry
the
she
body
wasn't.
and the hair.
I'm sorry she wasn't. I don't love. You know, she wore like the bikini tops where just her nipples are covered, but
Yeah.
you could see where her breasts had the augmentation. Like, you could see them protrude and
Yeah.
then go around. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she had the shitty boob job. It wasn't a beautiful Kim Kardashian boob job.
No.
It was this shitty, obtuse,
Yeah.
you know, where you could see every shape in her, right?
Yeah.
And her ass was never great. She had a very flat ass, and her face was all lips. She was like that VIP version of herself.
Oh my
right?
God,
Yeah.
we were talking about that show.
VIP.
Remember
You
that?
can't talk about Baywatch without talking about VIP.
Right.
And fucking barbed wire.
Yeah. That shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Like, she was okay
Yeah.
for a porn star.
There was a lot of other very attractive women.
Thank you.
In
And this
Baywatch.
is what I mean. But not only in Baywatch, who was that bitch from the dance movie with the curly hair from motherfucking Saved by the Bell? That's a sexy bitch.
Showgirls?
From
Yeah,
Showgirls,
Showgirls.
yeah.
Oh yeah, except that movie was rotten.
The movie had nothing to do with it. That's a sexy bitch. She had
Yeah.
long legs.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
had a full
on-
natural
On
breast.
Saved by the Bell, she was, her name was Jessie, I think that was her
yeah,
name.
she
Yeah.
dated AC Slater.
Yeah, I can't remember, I can picture her face.
Mm-hmm.
She had a very no work done, the girl next door
Yeah.
kind of vibe, which I think the 90s embodies, is that Elizabeth Cuthbert, right? Like that girl next door.
Well, there's
vibe.
Elizabeth
Erica,
Cuthbert,
whatever
that's her
her
name.
last name is,
Right.
Erica, whatever, was a Baywatch girl, and she was gorgeous. Like I always thought that she was like the prettiest one.
Well, for me, and this is around the same era, which is why I say it, but Topanga to me was gorgeous. Like,
I'm
this
pretty sure
beautiful,
everyone thought that she was
natural-
gorgeous. Yeah. Remember Adam
You know.
Scott in Boy Meets World? Hello.
Oh, Adam
God.
Scott.
He was so fucking hot in that in Hellraiser 4.
Oh my god.
Yep. I'd go there.
It's true. It's true. But again, that's a time, the mid-90s, were very much a Playboy time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's when breast implants
Oh, it was so over the top then.
were so
Yeah.
over the top.
Yeah,
it was like,
very
the
over
bigger
the
the
top.
boobs, no matter how hard they are, knock, knock, knock,
Yeah.
knock, knock, knock.
Yeah.
Like these big fucking
Big
titties.
plastic, like pointy, yeah, it was just bad. Bad stuff.
That stuff.
Bad stuff.
Yeah. Pepperoni nipples all sliced up and shit.
And this weird
Whoops, that's not
pubic
my
hair
bear.
thing on women where they did all sorts of weird
Design.
shapes. Like
Oh,
the 90s
yeah, I
were
remember
really
that.
big on
Like,
the
I am a
star
heart,
and
like,
the heart.
the heart.
The
and-
strip.
Oh, dear.
I know.
Yeah, it was very trendy to have your landing strip done.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Because everyone was doing Playboy, though. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah.
all the big stars
a very
were
Playboy
doing Playboy.
90s thing to do.
You
I'm
weren't
surprised
as
Anna Nicole Smith
successful.
wasn't on Baywatch.
Yeah. I'm surprised too, because that was it. If you were remotely attractive, they had you in a TV show, in a Pepsi commercial, in a car commercial, full spread on Playboy. Fucking if you were a pretty girl, they monopolized your body.
Yeah.
Like the media kind of. In the
For
90s,
sure.
I feel
Yeah.
like that was a thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Nicole
Wish
was
I
like,
could've
I'm
made that
getting
kind of money."
skyscraper. Fuck you guys.
It's a skyscraper.
It's a movie. Look it up. With Anna Nicole.
fucking seen that.
Girl, let me just.
So is it barbed wire quality?
Skyscraper. I'm looking it up, bitch. Oh, it has The Rock in it. Nope, that's 2018.
I've literally never heard of this movie, but I bet the CGI explosions are atrocious.
Fuck you guys. I'm doing skyscraper.
Fuck you guys.
Like,
I'm going home.
Look at this shit. Megan, please look
Oh,
at
I'm on it. I'm on it.
You're looking
because
at that
I can't.
shit? Oh my god. Please.
How do you know about this? Skyscraper.
I don't know because it's stupid and I
It's
love
funny.
it.
Well, back to Alice Beasley with two L's.
We were talking about that.
So
A
as we
million
mentioned
years
earlier,
ago.
she's in Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, our most recent episode. She was also in a few TV shows like Taxi, Cheers.
She was in Moonlighting
Okay,
with Bruce Willis.
okay. What? Okay,
Hello.
I've seen a photograph of Moonlighting before, but then I never really researched it. And then I was doing my notes, and I'm like, what the fuck is this show with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
What? And it has multiple seasons.
You've never heard of this
No,
show?
I've never heard
Never
of this
heard of
show. I was like,
Moonlighting?
Moonlighting? What the
my
fuck is
God.
this? But Alice Beasley plays a rhyming receptionist.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
Have you ever seen this show? Sounds stupid.
I don't think I've ever watched. I mean, Bruce Willis is in it, so it's probably okay.
Oh.
Another bald actor that Megan loves.
I just,
Bruno.
once he was in Friends, like Bruce Willis was in Friends.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he like dated Jennifer Aniston. Like he was one of these walk-on characters.
I have never
in the
watched
90s.
Friends, I have no
Again,
idea.
like it's so crazy. We're
The
watching
90s were a
this
wild-ass
shitty
time.
movie, Rumpelstiltskin, this shitty movie, and you have to figure again, this is at the peak of Seinfeld, 1995. Like this is when these great shows, these great sitcoms were coming out, and we're watching this.
Yeah, I love how he crouches down. Like he's like crouched down with his arms up in the air, like laughing.
I can't. But yeah, so like as this is being filmed, Bruce Willis is somewhere filming
like Last Boy Scout or like fucking 4 Rooms, like doing amazing things.
It's kind of kooky to me. And you know, on that note, Morgan, does anyone remember when Bruce Willis had a full head of hair? Has he ever acted with a full head of hair?
Did he not have hair in Moonlighting? Let's just do this.
Well, he always had like the kind of widow's peak a little bit, like
Right.
not like
I feel
Julian
like
Sands
he's like
widow
Patrick
peak,
Stewart,
but
like
yeah,
like he went bald when he was 15. Like that's the kind of thing that's what.
So
we're
would you
dealing
do
with.
it? Would you do it with the Megan?
Bruce Willis?
Bruno?
Are you fucking out of your fucking mind?
Okay, guys, just so you know, Bruce Willis had
I can't tell if you're like being
Oh, I
like
would do
yes,
him.
hell
he
yeah,
had a
or
full
no,
head of
fuck you.
hair in Moonlighting.
What a precious baby. Is that Helen Hunt?
No,
it's,
it's Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd.
Oh, Sybil. Sybil. It's Sybil.
Do you remember her show?
Sybil.
Sybil.
No,
I used to watch the shit out of that show.
I don't remember that show. Sybil. No.
I'm old.
I was gonna say.
Well, Alice Beasley, she is also a voice actor, which makes sense because she has a crazy fucking
It's a very
voice.
interesting voice.
And she has a crazy face, too. And you can, like, hear her face.
You can hear
You
her
can
face.
hear her face, like, through her voice. And, like, she did voices in Darkwing Duck. Duckman. Do you remember Duckman?
Yeah.
With fucking Jason Alexander. That show was hilarious. Johnny Bravo.
Oh God! Like these are pivotal cartoons in the
Yeah,
early
90s cartoons.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
like this episode excites me so much because she's not the only one as well. Now here's the thing I wanted to say. So, Elle Marie Wendell, I've watched this movie in the past, and I've watched this movie right now with you bitches. I did not see her character. I did not see her face. Elle Marie Wendell. She was the landlord in Third Rock from the Sun. She was the one who was fucking. Her sister was fucking French. What's his name? From Third Rock from the Sun. Something
Oh
French.
yeah. Stuart French.
Stuart French. She had a very big role.
Stewart.
French Stewart.
Stuart French. Oh God.
Stargate. That's how I know that.
But she was also in the Lorax. She did a lot of voice acting.
What kind of fucking name is French?
Why wouldn't it be Stuart French?
Right?
She was in a movie in 1989 called The Immortalizer.
What?
Don't know, girl. I don't know.
I love that. It's like random useless information.
Because when I
Who
saw
is
the
this
cover, this is the bitch. Elle Marie Wendell. I told you. I told you.
Megan's getting angry.
I told you once.
Megan likes spicy
Look her up.
chicken.
Look her up. Look her up. Elle Marie. E-L-M. Look her up.
Marie.
Elle Marie. She was in The Immortalizer. And when I saw it, I thought, this is worthy to write down, but not worthy to look up.
There's not a lot.
No.
Why do you think my notes are 1 page? There was like literally nothing worthy to write down for this movie.
But we're not done because I feel like...
Guys, I have some stuff.
Okay, get your
Still.
stuff out.
Okay.
Poop it out, girl.
All right,
Oh.
here we go.
Catherine Yeager. No, Kevin Yeager.
Yes.
Oh, well, let's talk about Kevin
He was
Yeager.
married to Catherine Hicks. He is married to Catherine Hicks.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love him. He is a legend
He
in
is.
makeup and special effects and horror. Like, he did the special effects for Friday 13th Part 4, the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels, like, the makeup in
Face
Nightmare...
off! Face off! Face off!
Face off.
He
976
probably
Evil.
still has those bodies in his
I
basement.
know, right? He
Like,
fucks them.
He fucks Nick
Yeah,
Cage and
for
John-
sure.
He
I
swaps them
would.
out. He swaps them out.
He did the special effects for Trick or Treat.
Starship Troopers.
I love Starship Troopers so
It's very
much.
long. It's as long as Titanic, but it's
a
worth
great
it.
movie. It's
What are you
so
talking about? No,
long.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it
What are you
is.
talking about?
3 hours.
Titanic is like a million hours long.
Titanic is 2 hours long.
Titanic
it's
is
not.
3 hours.
Titanic
Okay,
is
3 hours.
3 hours.
I guarantee you,
Probably
Starship
3.5.
Trooper. I'm looking it up because Dave and I watched it on our hangover from our Friendsmas, and we were watching it for the whole day.
Maybe that's because you were hungover or high or something. Because Starship Troopers is just a regular length movie.
No, it's
isn't it?
not.
It's probably 2 hours.
It's
but
2
like,
hours and 9 minutes.
I'm doing
That's
my
long.
part.
It's 2 hours
Yeah, I
and
like that
9
movie.
minutes.
Okay,
2 hours and
look
9
up
minutes.
Titanic. Look
2
up
hours.
Titanic.
Okay.
Titanic is at least 3 hours.
Yeah, at least 3.5 hours.
Oh, you don't spell Titanic with an O? Weird.
Titanic.
That's like that thumb
Titanic.
Titanic. Remember that? Remember those thumb movies?
All right, fine.
Ugh.
Fine. It's 3 hours and
knew it.
15 minutes.
That's a long.
However,
ass movie.
Starship Troopers is over 2 hours.
guys,
That's a long
They
fucking
You
suck
know
the
how
movie.
brains
Titanic
out.
ends. Like, what's the point of watching it?
Of watching what?
Titanic. You know how
Are
it
you
ends.
Okay. You
Don't
know
even
what?
start
I
this
can't,
with
like,
Megan.
I
Are you
can't.
serious, Morgan?
It's genius. It's literally flawless from
I would
start
just be
to
like,
finish.
like,
I
fast
can't.
forward to
First
the
of all,
Kathy
Kathy Bates,
Kathy Bates,
Kathy Bates,
Billy Zane,
the
Kathy
unsinkable
Bates.
Molly
I know.
Ringwald, or whatever her name was in the movie.
Unsinkable Molly. Incredible.
Unsinkable Molly Ringwald.
And like,
love
if
it.
we could just have one sex scene with Billy Zane and Kate Winslet's gorgeous titties and his gorgeous
Why
cock.
didn't that
If he could
happen?
just titty fuck Kate Winslet
I have
for
a
10
feeling-
minutes out of that 3-hour movie,
Then it would be worth it.
girl.
I have
It
a
would be
feeling,
worth it.
because I'm not judging the actors, but the characters, that
Fair
Billy
enough.
Zane's character would be like a choker.
Oh, he would choke her, but he would also.
He'd be
Yeah,
Kate
dude.
Winslet has the nicest tits I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Natural titties, and I feel like he would definitely want to
Like slap
fuck
them,
them.
slap them
Yeah.
around,
Put his
punch 'em.
penis between them, and then jizz on her chin.
That'd be for Totanic.
Totanic.
You know all about that, Morgan. You
What?
creepy foot alien.
Oh my god. Yeah, DM me for your foot pics, bitches.
If anyone needs Morgan's number, her personal cell number, don't be afraid to text me. I mean, because I feel like I need to give everyone Morgan's contact information.
Wouldn't that
right
just
now.
be the fucking...
Hala, 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 hala.
It's not racist when you're.
I have one last thing to say about Kevin Yeager. He directed, and people shit on Hellraiser 4 all the time, and I disagree. I love Hellraiser 4 because of multiple reasons that I'm not going to get into right now. But Kevin Yeager, I don't know if you know this, but do you know Alan Smithy?
Yeah.
The fake director
That's
name.
the name
If
that
you
everybody
are a
uses.
director and you make a movie and you want to remove,
Yes.
and you're not happy
Yes.
with your project and you want to remove your name from it, there's a pseudonym named Alan Smithy.
In all seriousness, we've talked about this before.
Yes.
Yeah, we have.
A long time ago, actually.
Do you remember why?
Maybe
Someone else did
because
this.
I talked about Hellraiser 4 before.
No,
No,
someone else. No,
someone
in an
else-
episode.
In an episode, Alan Smithy did.
Oh.
It was one of our.
okay.
It was when I lived with you, Yasmina. This is how early
Yeah.
on we mentioned this.
Oh, okay.
Which
So-
actually is hilarious because we're coming up on 4 years of this podcast.
Stop it.
Spooky.
Yeah. Next month.
4
4 years.
years. If we all had sex, we'd have almost a fucking school-aged kid. Right?
Yeah,
Gross.
we'd be sending. We're sending little witchy finger to fucking junior kindergarten next year, guys.
Kevin Yeager directed Hellraiser 4, but he used the Alan Smithy pseudonym.
Oh, because he hated it?
And I don't get why. Honestly, I love Hellraiser Part
Well,
4.
because maybe he just feels like. Maybe he realized he wasn't a director. He's like, I'm just gonna stick to putting
special
plastic on
effects.
people's
But
faces.
here's the other thing I don't get. When you direct a film, you can only do so much with the script you're given.
That's true.
So, I mean, yeah, the film might have been trash, but what's a director to do?
Right?
not trash. It's good.
It is good. Because
really good.
Bloodline, I thought Bloodline was great.
It's so good. It's so good. Like, why do people hate that movie so much?
It
I love
traces
it.
it back.
Dude,
like,
and not only does it go through the history of the
Exactly,
creation of the box,
exactly.
we get Adam Scott, and he's so hot. And the part where they resurrect the girl
Yeah.
is so good. Like, they skin a bitch, and then there's like the satanic pentagram, like with blood on the floor and like fucking like pieces of flesh everywhere, and like her skin like formulates like a body out of like flesh, out of like nothing, and then like the part where the guy gets the spear through his neck and that decapitates him is brutal. Continue, Morgan. You were gonna say something like fucking like an hour ago.
No, I was just like, because we were like, we don't have anything else.
Proceed.
Yeah, the movie is done. They found the jade egg. I just wanted to mention the Seinfeld stuff that I found.
Yeah, what are the Seinfeld
Okay,
references?
so Jack McGee, somebody that was in this movie.
I got him.
Jack McGee plays Detective Ben Smith. He appeared in over 100 films and television series.
Yeah, I got him.
He was in The Hidden. He was in Scrooge. He was in Lethal Weapon 2 and 3. He was in Backdraft. He was in Born on the 4th of July with your boyfriend Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you're not hitting the important one.
He was in Seinfeld, and he played somebody called Ralph.
So what you've missed is he was in Vanilla Ice, Cool as Ice.
Oh, Cool as Ice!
I must own Cool as Ice on VHS.
Jack McGee was in Cool as Ice. Not only was he in Cool as Ice, he was in Jury Duty with our boy Pauly Shore.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I do know about the Tom Cruise reference. However, I missed the Seinfeld reference. He was a detective.
No, his name was Ralph.
Ralph.
I just want to say Cool as Ice. I remember watching it when I was a kid, and the only thing I remember was a scene with him and her in a construction area. There was a lot of lumber, and a scene where she's riding a horse and he's on a motorcycle and he's like racing her. That's all I remember from Cool as Ice, but I'm sure it's probably awful.
awful.
But I need to own it.
Cool as Ice.
Willing
to sacrifice our love.
We're singing
Some
totally
Foreigner
different
for you
songs.
bitches. So I have to admit that this is the only film, and when I say this, I mean it, the only film in 4 years that I didn't watch a second of. I didn't. My eyes never touched the screen. I looked into your bitch's beautiful eyes the whole time.
Yeah, well, hey, like that's...
We're more beautiful than my boss husband.
Christ
That's what friends are for.
Google is telling me that Ralph was a golden retriever that Kramer owned.
Morgan, you're
facts
tripping.
Hold
bitch.
Okay, so a couple things. Mark Holton is also apparently in this movie, and he was Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Ooh.
And,
the fat guy. That's like
Yeah, the fat
he
guy.
gives him the gum.
yeah, and so he also
That's a lot of gum.
was in like Teen Wolf and shit, and he was also in Leprechaun, and he was
Mark Holton.
fucking John Wayne Gacy in the Gacy movie.
And he was in A League of Their Own. So don't
He
ever
was.
forget that. Don't
And
ever
he
forget
also
that.
was in Seinfeld as well, apparently.
No, he wasn't. Bitch, you be
But-
tripping.
Whatever.
Love
Okay,
you.
so one other thing that I thought it was interesting to mention was that Canon released a whole bunch of fairy tale movies in the 80s. Wild ass Manaheim and Yoram doing weird fucking shit. And they put out a Rumpelstiltskin movie too in 1987.
What? How
Yes,
did
I
I
saw
not know
that.
about this?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a comedy.
It was a musical.
It was a musical.
Oh, that's why I
it
don't
was
know about it.
It was deemed, and this is why I didn't put it in my notes for this reason specifically, and I'll tell you why. Because it was classified, and I was mad about
You're
it.
already making me laugh.
It was
Why?
classified as a fantasy / comedy / musical / horror / like the slashes in the 1987 version were like, pick a fucking genre. You can't win an Oscar for everyone.
Oh, but
so
me
just
and him
pick
didn't
one.
give a shit.
No, those guys were crazy.
You should watch the Canon Films documentary. Like, me and him did, like, not give a fuck.
Okay, because he
They were
literally
like-
put that, like, when I looked it up, because I was like, this looks fascinating. And I was like, what kind of movie is this?
Yeah.
Every fucking kind
Every
of
genre
movie.
you could possibly imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, so in the late 80s, they were like, we're gonna do fairy tale movies, and they did 8 of them in total, apparently. So they did the version of Rumpelstiltskin, and it's a musical. That one is directed by David Irving, who actually directed Chud 2.
Bud the Chud.
Which is gonna be rotten as fuck.
You know, I have that movie, and I watched it once, and I was like, I can't get into this. It's too corny for me. But my friend Misty was like, trust me, give it another shot. And I was like, okay, because it was really cheesy.
I don't like Chud.
You're
this
right.
the word chud?
No,
or
what?
just-
No. I
don't like
I
the
just have to
movie.
say one
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
You know, fuck Chud. Because you know why? Q, the winged serpent, is the better version of Chud. It's the exact same plot. It's the exact same plot, and it's carried way better. So don't watch Chud, just watch Q. Continue.
There's not much else, just other than the other movies that they did, like The Emperor's New Clothes and Beauty and the Beast.
The Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah. Red Riding Hood.
But
there's a Puss in Boots
Pussy,
one.
what?
Christopher Walken is in the Puss in Boots one.
What? What the fuck?
let me
That's all
tell
I
you
have to say.
why
That's
I
all.
think this
That's
is
all I have.
magical.
That's
Because I feel like, again, the late 80s, early 90s is a heyday for Disney. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Early 90s was Lion King, which is their biggest grossing original release of all time, right? And so, like, the late 80s into early 90s, I'm not surprised that there was such a cinematic explode of fairy tale live action film because, again, this is when Disney was at its prime. It was still VHS. It wasn't DVD. You couldn't download. You had to go to the theater. Disney movies were fucking selling out. And fairy tales were very much a popular, like, sell out, make money kind of shit. So I'm not surprised that people were trying to take the cartoon, like what Disney was doing in their heyday, and making it like a real life thing. You ready for jokes? Stephen King has a son named Joe. I'm not joking, but he is.
And on that note,
I got a joke too.
you have a joke?
I got a few jokes, but I'll just give you one. All right, we'll leave you with this, okay, everyone. Megan she's gone. And thanks again for listening. This was a really fun episode. We're gonna finish our cheese. We're gonna drink some more alcohol and listen to some 90s dance music to Unlimited. And so I'll leave you with this. Life is like a corn dog. Bitches only want my wiener if I got bread.
But bye bye everyone.
Bye bye.
Rumpelstiltskin.